If you've been jumping into Road to Vostok Early Access and feeling a little lost, you're not alone. This game does not hold your hand, and if you don't understand the mechanics, you're going to lose gear, waste time, and struggle to progress. Hey guys, I'm Ghost and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to give you the ultimate beginner guide to Road to Vostok. We're going to cover absolutely everything you need to know. How the core gameplay loop works, how to find weapons, ammo, food, gear, loot, how to heal yourself, how to find the traders, barter with them, and complete tasks, how to transit between zones, combat tips so you can stop dying to those bandits, how to recognize and customize your shelters, and we'll also cover some small mechanics that the game doesn't really explain that can make a huge difference. My goal here is simple. After this video, you'll understand exactly how to play, how to survive, and how to start progressing efficiently in Road to Vostok. Let's get into it. Road to Vostok takes place in a near-future conflict zone along the Finnish-Russian border where society has collapsed and the region has been sealed off into a militarized exclusion zone. You play as a lone survivor trying to navigate this hostile world. You're going to be scavenging for supplies, trading with isolated outposts, and pushing deeper into increasingly dangerous areas. The ultimate goal of your character is to reach Vostok, which is a heavily controlled zone beyond the border where the stakes are higher, the enemies are tougher, and survival becomes even more unforgiving. Unlike Tarkov, where the goal is to escape the raid and ultimately escape from Tarkov, Road to Vostok is more about long-term survival and progression. You're not trying to win per se, you continue to build up your character, your resources, and ultimately push deeper into more dangerous zones to get better gear and complete more tasks. The game begins with you inside your cabin. This is your first shelter and where you will respawn if you die out in the world. You can press tab to open up your inventory, and depending on the difficulty mode you selected, you should see that you have a starter weapon in there. You can alt left click on weapons to auto equip them or just drag them over to the slot. Next, you will need to manually load weapons in Road to Vostok. Drag the ammo over the magazine to begin packing it. Once that is done, you can drag and drop the mag over the weapon to load it up. Later on, when you have multiple magazines in your inventory, you can just press R to reload your weapon with a different mag. Keep in mind that the magazines will always need to be manually packed though. If you want to view the map in the world, you will need to have a map equipped. If you want to view the time of day, you will need to have a clock equipped. And if you want to use a flashlight, you will need to have a Narva flashlight equipped. All of these items can be found while looting the world. Now the core gameplay loop goes like this. You exit your shelter and go out into the world. You loot and scavenge for weapons, gear, fights of bandits, and complete tasks for the traders. If at any time you die in the world, you lose everything that was currently on your character at that time, and you'll respawn back inside your shelter where you have to go again. Anytime you enter or exit your shelter, both the enemies and loot in the world will reset. So if you are full of gear and can't carry anymore, just head back to your shelter, drop off your stuff, and then go back out and do it again. All kinds of loot, including weapons, ammo, meds, anything, can be found in and around points of interest or POIs. Search every home you see, inside of cabinets, crates, trash bags, bodies, tents, everything. Loot can also be scattered on the ground in certain places, which is usually more difficult to spot, so keep your eyes peeled. Now we're going to cover how to heal. It is an inescapable fact that you will take damage in Road to Vostok. There are a couple different types of damage that your character can sustain, so let's take a look at your status conditions that are visible on your screen right now. On the far left of the bottom of your screen, you'll see your health pool. This is self-explanatory, but know that if you see it slowly ticking down, there is another status condition that you need to address. Next to that is your energy. Energy can be replenished by consuming various food, drink, and even energy powders that you'll find in the world. Next to that is your hydration. This can also be replenished by eating and drinking, so you don't always need to find a drink specifically to fill up your hydration. Next up is your mental state. The life of your character is a stressful one, as you can imagine, so you will need to do things to relieve their stress. Various consumables can work to do this, in addition to things like cigarettes. Next to that is your body temperature. This doesn't seem to be a really big deal in the early access, but maybe if you swim around naked at night without clothing on and then run around, this could be an issue. Just make sure you find and equip some clothing, guys, and you won't really need to worry about this mechanic right now. If the weather in the world transitions to winter, then I feel like this will be more prominent, but winter clothes are very easy to find in the world, so just keep your eyes out. Moving over to the bottom right now, the kilogram symbol lets you know if your character is overweight. This occurs when you're trying to carry too much loot. Once you become overweight, you will not be able to run and your stamina will not regenerate. You can increase the amount of loot you can carry by equipping a backpack and even other gear like a waist pouch or a fishing vest. The better the gear you find, the more you can carry. The fork and knife and the water bottle next to it each signify your character is either hungry or thirsty, respectively. Now the scratch symbol here will let you know if your character has an active bleed. You will need certain meds to heal a bleed in Road to Vostok. In the early stages of the game, you will typically have access to either a bandage or a tourniquet, but later on you can get military equipment like medkits and IFAKs. If you do not stop a bleed, your character will eventually bleed out and die. Now if the bone symbol next to the bleed is red, it means your character has suffered a fracture. If that's the case, you will need to use a splint to repair this. If you do not repair a fracture, your character will eventually bleed out and die. The fire symbol will let you know if your character has a burn. This can usually be attained by touching an open fire, something like that. Bombs or lotions can be used to address a burn, and heating sources can be used to address hypothermia, which is signaled by the snowflake located just next to it. As far as I know, in this early access, the hypothermia, the insanity meter, and radiation are not in play yet. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I will release an update when those mechanics are added. The next two mechanics are active, and you do need to be concerned with these ones. The skull indicates that you have a rupture on your head, and the target means that you have suffered a headshot. Both of these will cause your health to drain rapidly, and both can only be addressed with either a medkit, an IFAK, or an AFAK. If you are early game, then odds are you don't have access to any of these items. The only successful way I have found to stop these from ruining a run if I don't have the proper meds is to just run back to my shelter. Hopefully you can make it in time to go inside, throw everything you're carrying on the ground, and then wait patiently for your character to pass out. If you manage to do this, you'll respawn at full health, and then you can just pick up all the loot and go again. As of the making of this video, there are 3 traders you can find inside the game, but based off the roadmap the developer has released, there are many more on the way. The first trader you're going to meet is known as the Generalist. He can be found inside the big barn in the village that located just here on the map. Head inside and you will see him standing behind the desk mumbling to himself. Now I am convinced the bandits are not allowed to enter his area, as this has not happened to me once. However, the bandits can camp outside the barn and even shoot at you if they see you through the door. Just be aware of your surroundings and clear the area before you start trading with him. Now if you speak to the trader, there are a few things you should know. There's no cash in Road to Vostok right now. Instead, each item has a barter value and a scale meter in the middle of the screen. Just select what you want from the trader and then click items that you are willing to trade for it from your inventory until the meter is relatively balanced out. You just needed it to be right around the middle, slightly into the green is good. I don't advise trading meta weapons for a juice box, you're just being ripped off. Now if you don't see anything you want, just know that the trader's inventory will reset when the timer shown reaches 0, and he can also get new stock if you buy a load of his stuff, close the screen, and then reopen it. If you buy any furniture from the traders, it doesn't appear in your character but can be found in the catalog located back inside your shelter. We'll cover that in a later section. The other reason to visit the traders is to get tasks that can help you progress the story. Select the task tab to see what is available to you. You can also add these to your notes so that you can track what items you should be looking for while running around the world. To complete a task, you will need to have all the items in your inventory and you'll have to turn them all in at the same time. The next trader you'll find is known as the Doctor. The Doctor is who you'll go to for high quality meds as well as lockers, which are great for storing gear early game. To make your way to the Doctor, you will need to transit to the school zone. This seems like the perfect time to discuss the transit system in Road to Vostok. The overall world is divided up into many zones, and you can get from one to another by transiting between them. The zone that you begin the game in is known as the village. Transit locations are usually identifiable as breaks in the yellow tape that surrounds the map. Just approach them and press F and you will head to the new area. Note that anytime you transit, you lose some time during the day as well as some hunger and thirst. The transit to the school zone can be found by heading right out of your shelter and going all the way up to the yellow tape and then taking a left and following it to the hole in the yellow tape. Once you arrive at the school zone, just stay straight on the highway and go all the way down and you'll see the school on your left. Just go ahead and enter it and go up to the 3rd floor and you will find the Doctor in the first room on the right. The third trader we've seen in early access is the Weapons Specialist. He is located inside of a bunker that is in the Outpost zone. To find him, you will need to first transit to the school zone. Once you are there, head straight down the highway and continue past the school. You'll find the transit to the outpost on the far side of the map. Once you transit to the outpost, just stay to the left until you reach the edge of the water and then turn right and stay straight. You will see a broken down tank outside of a bunker built into a rock formation. Just head inside and you will find the Weapons Specialist. He is who you're going to go to for meta weapons, armor, stuff like that. As of the making of this video, these are the only traders you can find. Again, like and subscribe to the channel to keep an eye on this space, as I'll release updates as they come out. The next thing I would like to discuss is effective ways to deal with the bandits. These are not enemies to be taken lightly and should be engaged by first considering your position in the world. Think about it for a second. When you first see them wandering around the village, you are not wearing any body armor or protective equipment. These items will come to you later in the game, but without them you are highly susceptible to damage and injury. Therefore, I recommend moving around cautiously at first until you have dispatched the enemies in the area. Practice your room clearing with the lean, as the bandits like to hide quietly in corners and around walls. Listen for sounds of their mumbling and grumbling as well. These audio cues can give away their position. You can also listen out for their footsteps, but the footstep audio seems very quiet to me at this point. Hopefully it gets increased in future updates. Now, the bandits are incredibly accurate and unforgiving. If they spot and shoot at you, you should immediately fall back behind some cover. The longer you expose and visible to them, the faster they will be able to own in on your position and start landing their shots. Once you're behind cover, you can circle peek the corners with a lean to chip away at where they could possibly be. I am demonstrating what this looks like to you on screen right now. Once you have eyes on, I highly advise you practice trying to one-tap them by shooting them in the head. After trying all the weapons available so far, it appears that any of them are capable of one-tapping the bandits if you land a headshot. They are not military personnel, they are not wearing helmets, so they have no protective gear up there. I would highly recommend rebinding the left and right lean to be the side buttons by your thumb on your mouse if yours has that feature. You don't need to do this, but for me, I have found it way easier to lean peek in FPS games. One last thing I would like to discuss real quick is how to update your shelters. Throughout your time in Vostok, you can get new furniture from the traders. Just press F1 when inside any of your shelters to enter build mode. The instructions are relatively simple and shown on the screen. You can press the tab key to view what furniture you have available. So far, I really like using lockers to store weapons. These can be purchased from the doctor. I also like using the freezers as well, which can be picked up from the generalist. Look guys, I know my shelter ain't pretty, but it is highly functional as we're grinding through this game. I promise I'll decorate it more later. Hey, at least I have a Persian rug in my living room. I think the rug really ties the room together. What do you guys think? And that is your complete guide for Road to Vostok in the early access. I hope this guide helps you get started and enjoying the game. If it did, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel for more hardcore FPS content. Let me know in the comments down below if there's any other areas of this game you'd like me to cover next. Have fun with it guys. The developer is just one man, which is incredible, and he has released a roadmap of his planned updates. After I read through the roadmap, it appears there's a ton of stuff on the way. As always, thanks for watching. I'm Ghost, and I'll see you in the next raid.